Well, hello, friends. Real quick before we kick off the episode, I have to let you know about something exciting. I am seriously considering having an upgraded version of this podcast where you get bonus episodes and exclusive content. But here's the deal, I'm trying to decide what that content and those episodes should be. I do have some ideas, and I was wondering if you could vote really quick and tell me what you think about what would entice you, what would be interesting to you to get as bonus episodes on this podcast. For example, deeper dives into topics. Maybe I'm answering questions that many of you ask about starting or growing a business. Maybe even overhearing coaching calls, something like this. It would be a paid, upgraded version of this podcast, not very expensive at all, probably just a handful of dollars a month, but it be extra content for you to help you along your journey. My whole goal is to help you build your business dream. And I would love to offer you even more because some of you are asking for it. So if you could just look down in the show notes right now, there's two ways you can give me your answers. Number one, I have a Google form with 5 quick questions. It can be anonymous. You just answer them and vote on what would be interesting to you. Or number two, I have a voice memo system. You can just click it and you could just leave a voice memo with your phone right now and just record it and tell me what kind of topics, what things would be interesting to you behind the scenes, market news, what would be things that would be extra that would be really valuable to you. So thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode.
Well, hello, this is Kimberly Brock, and for over 20 years, I've been running my own businesses that have not only been profitable, but personally fulfilling to me. So now I'm on a mission to help other new business owners just like you make money doing what you love too. Now we're going to have some fun, so let's get started.
Well, hello, everyone. It's episode 168, and I am so glad that you are here today because I'm talking to you about the world that you are creating for your customers through your business. Oh, yes, you are creating a world for them. You're creating a feel, a vibe for them. And we're going to talk about that today because I want you to think hard about this as you are starting and building your business. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you found this podcast. Each week I provide valuable tips and strategies for starting and building a business, doing what you love. If you are new, do a couple of things really quick, okay? Number one, hit subscribe or follow or the plus sign, whatever it is. If you're an Apple podcast or maybe a little plus sign up there so that you get notified when I drop new episodes that we know are going to help you. And I don't want you to miss out on any of these great topics that will give you new insights and perspectives as you start and build your business. So do that. Number one, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, okay? Number two, scroll down right now. You can get in my free Facebook group. It's called Women Starting Businesses Doing What We Love, so that you can have a community of people around you. You can ask random questions. You can get help and support. You can see what others are asking. We have such a great group of ladies, and we'd love to have you in there. So when you click the link down below to get in the Facebook group, you are going to be prompted right there in the Facebook group to answer 3 quick questions, and then you will be accepted into the group, and we'd love to welcome you in. And then also to have some free goodies if you're new. Yes, there's lots of party favors for all of you newbies. I've got a 16-step checklist. If you're wondering, what are all the steps for starting my business? How do I make sure I'm staying on track? The checklist is super handy. So grab that. And if you're in the idea stage of your business, you're not ready to start yet, but you're trying to figure out your idea, I also have a really handy guide for you to figure that out too. So make sure if you're new to scroll down in the show notes and get all that information below. I'm so happy to have you. And if you've been listening a while, thank you so much. To all my loyal listeners, y'all are wonderful. You're so grateful and appreciative, and it warms my heart every day. I'm so excited that this podcast has been supported by all of you for over 3 years now. How amazing is that? And we're going to keep on chugging along together. So I'm so happy you're here. Thank you all so much. Okay, on to the episode. Well, hello, everyone. How are you? How is it going? I'm recording this here at the end of 2022, which it will go live in 2023. And it's just hard to believe that time is just flying this fast and we're just embarking on a whole new year for our businesses and for our lives. How awesome is that? I'm so glad you're here today. And I think it's so important that you hear this episode because I don't even remember when I first came up with this idea for this episode because y'all, I get random thoughts when I'm like working out or on a walk or in the shower. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to write that down. I need to create a podcast episode on that. So I keep like a little list of like ideas. And all I'll put is like for today's episode, it was like world creating for your customer. That was all I put. And so it's up to me to come up with the full episode, right? Each time. But I've had this one and I'm actually going to do part 2 next week. Okay. It's going to be the world that you're creating for yourself as you're starting your business. But today it's about the world that you are creating for your customers as you start and build this business, okay? And really, it's the world you're creating for your customers. Really, that's what it is. Like, what world are you creating with this business? Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever considered this perspective that you're actually creating a world for people? I thought what I'd do first is just give you some examples of worlds that we already create or have been created for us in our lives. And so this will help you as you intentionally think through the world you're going to create for your customers. So let's think about it. First of all, something that's relatable to all of us is our homes, right? And if you have kids or you have pets or you have a spouse, whatever it may be, right? You have created a world, like your own little microcosm inside your house. Like now it's the holidays and I've got all my kids here and it's kind of crazy again. I'm like, man, I forgot how chaotic this was with 2 dogs and I've got 2 adult children and 1 14-year-old. And it's like, there's a lot going on. Friends are coming over and it's just dogs are barking and it's like dishes need to be done every 5 seconds and all this stuff, right? There's a lot of chaos going on, but I intentionally try to create a home, and so does my husband, that's loving and accepting, and we're not screaming and yelling. We're not big yellers or anything like that. We have intentionally set out to be like that, to create a safe space where hopefully our children feel like that they can talk to us, that's relaxing, that's not stressful to come home to, that they don't dread coming home to. They feel excited, right, to be here. So my hope is that I've done a good job. We won't know for a long time, will we? Until they get older and go, I have PTSD from you doing XYZ as I was growing up, right? I'm sure I'm doing a lot of things wrong, but I've been intentional about the world that I create for my family and the life that I want to have with all these people and the relationship in my home, with everyone in my home, right? So think about that for your life right now. You've created a world where what? Think about it right now. What's the environment that you've created in your home, whether you are single or married or you have a pet or you have children, you have grandchildren? What's the environment that you've created? You probably intentionally at some point set out to create a home a certain way. Maybe you've strayed from it. Maybe it's been hard. Maybe there's been challenges. Maybe you have difficult children. Maybe you have difficult animals. Maybe you have a difficult spouse. Maybe you got a divorce. Who knows, right? But you probably had an intention at some point. You set to create this space, this world, this environment, this vibe that was a certain way, right? And we can even think of it on a bigger scale. Like the United States is its own kind of world compared to if you go to Europe and you go to other countries, things are different. It's a different world. If you went to, North Korea, it's a world where you have to bow down and be speaking highly of the leader, Kim Jong-un, and you have to be, doing things a certain way. And it's more of a socialist society and they're, the whole thing. It's a totally different world over there. Can you agree? Than being over here. Our founding fathers and our whole government's intent is to create this world, this feel, this vibe of the United States where anything is possible. You can pursue your dreams. You can pursue education. You can pursue whatever career you want. You have choices. You have freedoms. We all know that, right? That's the world. Even though it's not the whole world that God created for us, it's our world that we're living in the United States, right? So you kind of get that concept, right? And I think about God when he created the world too, even bigger than just thinking about countries, is like all these planets and the stars. I can't even imagine his thoughts about that. And how, number one, he even created it all, I have no idea. But the point is, he created this world of just majesty. Everything is so awesome and grand. And that's the world he created. And he gave us this little space to be on it. Okay. I'm kind of straying off from the topic here, but that's like the highest level, right? God creating our world. But then, all the governments and areas and geographies of the United States are their own kind of world. If we go to other countries that are in poor economic, status, poor economic times, it's different. It's a different world over there. You have to fight for your food. You got to walk to get water, all those things, right? Here in the United States, we have it really well. And if you're in another country listening to this, I'm sure you have it really well, or you wouldn't be able to be listening to a podcast or starting a business, right? You're very blessed and very fortunate. Okay, so we've talked about our homes, how we create a world and environment. We talked about countries have their own world about an environment. I was thinking about too, like just going to different stores. Right? When I go shop on a daily basis, I'm entering into the owner's mini world that they created for me, like the feeling that they want me to have, right? Like today, I went to Costco and my grow-getters are probably laughing because I always talk about this, that I love Costco. And I go, and in fact, I was practicing going live in a store and I was live in a Costco. And it was just funny. Anyways, my point is I went to Costco today and I was thinking about like the returns that I was making. And then I was shopping around and I was thinking about the world that I'm in. I look forward to going to my Costco. My Costco is very clean and it always has good deals. And the employees, I see the same ones all the time. They must have the best employee retention rate ever. It's the same girls are at the doors checking your receipt. The same people are, it's crazy. My point is, the world they've created there actually makes me want to go there because I'm always looking for something new. Everything's always clean. The shelves are clean. I went to another warehouse style store the other day to test it out compared to Costco, and I could not get over the difference in the feel. I thought a warehouse store would be a warehouse store where you buy in bulk, and there was stuff falling off of the crates, like in the aisles. Things were dirty. The employees were not very nice. And the whole thing was a totally different world than Costco. It was a totally different world, right? Think about it when you go into a nice jewelry store, like a James Avery, or even if you went into a Tiffany, right? There's a world they've created. Like Tiffany, it's the world of luxury. And you're like, oh my gosh, everything is so nice and they're so professional and they're all helping me. And it's all, under the counter and bringing it up. Like you just kind of enter into this own world with the colors and the brands. Go to Lululemon. I've been into Lululemon and other athletic stores. Like it's this world of fitness and that every body type can wear these clothes. Everybody can be striving to be athletic and everyone's outdoors, whether they're hiking. And it's this whole other world, right, that I walk into. Sometimes when I walk in Target, I feel like I'm in this fun little world too. I smell the Starbucks that they have there and I'm going around to all the like bathroom stuff, like all the shower gel, and they have all those cute counters. I know different Targets look differently, but they have it set up really nice, all the cosmetics area and all that. And then all the bags and purses and jewelry, right? I go into this other world and it makes me happy. It makes me feel good. Their returns are easy, just like at Costco. Like they're always nice and friendly. Like I'm in a good world, right? And if you've ever been somewhere, maybe it's a restaurant, you can think about it right now, restaurant or store you've been in, where the world was not so happy. It was not sunshine and rainbows, right? Maybe you've been to a restaurant and you've had bad service. Like you can think of restaurants or businesses that you've bought from that just did not give you a good experience. And like you didn't get a good vibe when you walked in. You kind of had a weird feeling. Maybe the employees didn't care. You could tell they were not happy. I've told y'all before I had that instance at Subway. I think I did talk about this where like twice I got the most unhappy person. In fact, at one of the drugstores where I've had to pick up prescriptions, there's a man that works in the drive-thru. And every time I try to like spark conversation with him because he looks so miserable at his job. And I'm not going to say what drugstore it is at because I'm not here to bash anything, any business or anything. But I almost want to tell the owner, like, this person is not happy. Like, he is not happy. He does not smile. He is completely monotone. I smile at him and I'm saying, how is your day? Are you okay? And I like literally try to talk to him because I feel so bad. I even thought about bringing him a Christmas present. It's like, I need to bring him something. I haven't done it. But I feel like he is not happy and I don't get a good vibe. And it almost makes me not want to go there because I'm like, I feel tense every time I pull up there. And I'm like, this guy is miserable. Is everyone miserable at the store? Like, what is going on? But then at the same time, I want to keep going there because I want him to know that people are happy, I guess. I don't know what I think I'm trying to do by going there. And I see him every time. Then my husband said he saw him too. And I was like, what is up? I feel so bad. Anyways, you can think about that. I can think about a time recently, my family went to eat at a restaurant that served African food. It was like East African food. It was so good. The food was amazing. Okay, amazing. The restaurant was decorated really cool, but the vibe, we were like, where's the music? They should have some East African music. They could have a live band, and it wasn't super busy. And it should have been. It was like a Friday night, and it's in a prime location. It should have been busy. But the feel of it, it's like they halfway did the world. Like they created part of the world. They got a great menu. And they had, by the way, though, they had way too many things on the menu. It's like the Cheesecake Factory where there's like pages and pages and you don't even know what you're doing. You're like looking at this. This is what happened there. And we were like, they should narrow this down to one page menu. Like we acted like we knew what we were doing. And we're like the business people to come take this over. Like we know about the restaurant business. We don't. We just know from a customer's view. There should have been one page menu with, the food. And it would be really easy for the waiter to explain. The waiter took forever to explain it to us. He's like, y'all, the menu's too, even he said it was super complicated. I'm like, what are they doing then? Like, what are they doing? And so there was no music. The tables were not hardly filled up. I'm like, they could have gotten a starving artist out here to play some kind of really fun music and liven this up. So the vibe, so the world in here that we've just entered into feels amazing because they had almost everything. They had almost everything. And I just felt, I literally, my heart sinks for businesses when I feel like they're not making it. Do you know what I'm saying? Do y'all ever feel this way? Like, they have something good and they're not quite there. It literally breaks my heart. It literally breaks my heart. I think that's why I do what I do, because there's people out there right now that want to start a business and they don't think they can do it. And they're like halfway doing something. And I want them to know that they can do it, that they actually have potential. And so it reminds me of that. It's the same difference, right? It's just this restaurant has so much potential, but it's just not doing the few things that it needs to do to really keep people there and make the vibe fun and really an experience. They have an opportunity to create an experience for people because people here don't know about East African food. And so we're there to experience that new thing, right? So you can probably think of an instance like that. Think about the stores, the gas stations, the clothing stores, the restaurant. Everywhere you go creates a vibe, even online. When you go to an online store, what is the vibe? What is the feel? What is the world that you're entering into? What do they believe? Like, what is the feeling that you get when you go to a certain online store? Okay. I know when I had my online boutiques, like I had one that was personalized gifts. It was all monogrammed. And so it was a world where everything was monogrammed and it was so darn cute. And if you loved monogrammed or personalized items, it was the place to get all of that. And we would constantly have in new merchandise that comes in and it'd be super stylish and cute. It wouldn't be high-end shishi. It wouldn't be low-end. It was kind of middle priced. And it was just this fun world where everything could be personal, no matter what it was, a bag or a scarf or anything, or a soap or a cutting board, right? We had everything personalized, right? And when I had my kids' collegiate and baby gifts website, it was called Kids Are Fans Too. It was a world where kids get to be fans too, right? A world where they could be decked out and it was awesome. It could be in your favorite college team, right? And so that's the world I was creating for this business. The world that I'm creating, I could probably, rework the wording of this a bazillion times, but I'm just going to kind of say it off the cuff here. It's a world of possibility, of you becoming more than you ever thought you could, of you achieving more than you ever thought you could, about you using your God-given gifts to turn it into a business, right? Where you can make a difference to people, not only make money, but make a difference. That's the world I believe in a positive world that we all have the opportunity, whether you just want to do this as your side hustle, you want to do it part-time, you want to do it a few hours a week, or you want to go all in full-time. That's the world I'm creating for you, that of possibility, right? Of hope, that you can do something with your innate gifts that you've always wanted to do, right? That's the world I hope that I have created for you. So today, I want you to think about your business, whether it's online, whether it's local. What is the world that you are creating for your people? What is it? What is the big vision? What is it? Is it fun? Is it a happy world? Is it a serious world? Is it where you can get healthy, where you can feel better, where you can look your best, where you can achieve more, where you can build a home that feels more like you in your home, and a house that, you're excited to invite people over to? Like, what is the world you are creating? Are you making something easy for people? Are you saving them time? Are you saving them money? Is there a way to do things less expensive? Like, what is it? In your home actually look like what you would dream it to be? Is that what you do for people? Are you a home decorator and you do that? Right? Or a home can be so less stressful because you're a home organizer and you're helping them. Like, your home can actually be neat and clean all the time. And you can have a system for everything. We live in you would be creating a world for them of organization and of peace and less stress. What is the world you are creating for your people, not only when they either step foot in your store or look at your online store or look at your Etsy store or meet you in person? What is the feeling that you're giving them? Is it just boring? Is it like the restaurant that has like really good nuts and bolts to it, but just didn't finish it off and make this a total fun, good branded environment? And branding doesn't have to be just a logo. It can be the brand of you, your personality, the way you make them feel, how you have great customer service, how you respond quickly, how you listen to them. That can be your brand. Okay. So don't think of brand just in terms of graphics, but you have to intentionally create this world. And this is big, y'all. If you really think this through, this could change how you act, the people that you hire, how you communicate, how you design your website. And I'm not saying that it has to be the most fancy website. I'm just saying, what's the feeling that they get? What's the world that you're creating for them? Because the world is basically the summary of what you're doing. Ask yourself, what world am I creating for people? Because this is everything. They want that world. And I now know, it just hit me, the reason why I thought of this podcast episode. I have a Peloton treadmill and a Peloton bike. I do. I have some exercise equipment. I can't remember if I've told you all this before. We have like a sunroom in the front of our house, and I turned it into an exercise room. It's always been my dream to have exercise equipment at home. I am that girl that uses all of her exercise equipment. It's like a joke with everyone I know, because other people I know, it like turns into like a clothes hanger and like clothes are draped over it. For me, it's actually something I use all the time, multiple times a week. I use all my equipment, absolutely love all of it. Okay. And I always tell my husband, thank you so much for letting me have this room in our house. It's taking up prime real estate here. It's sunroom overlooking the pool. This would be a fun room for our family to sit and like have coffee. Oh no, it's an exercise room because it's inspiring. You look out at the pool and you see the sun and you are working out, right? That's what I do. Anyways, my point is, when I turn on my Peloton treadmill or my bike, I have my instructors that I love. So I don't know if y'all know Adrian, but he is the instructor that I always watch on the treadmill. Okay, I always watch Adrian because why? Because I realized when I was on there the other day, he creates a world for me when I get on that treadmill. Everything is positive. He talks about his life. He's talking about getting fit. He's talking about how the calories that we're burning, how we're getting stronger, how we can do more. He's pushing us. He's motivating us. He has created a world. And that's why I turn him on. Y'all, I don't do any other instructor on the Peloton because the world he has created for me, I love. I'm happy every time. You have a smile on my face. I end up laughing at something he says. I just love him. Then on the bike, I have Alex as my instructor. And if any of y'all have ever used the Peloton app or anything, like you don't even have to have any equipment. I think you can just get the app for like classes and stuff. But Alex is my favorite on the bike. Why? Because he's created a world of like intensity and he's like got all these deep thoughts. Sometimes it's crazy. He has deep thoughts and he's like deep and he's like motivating and he's like pushing you so hard and he's sweating. And I'm in a world when I'm doing that That's why I go. Think about if you've ever been to a fitness class, you probably went because of a certain instructor, because you love the world that you just entered into when you walked into that class, right? So think about it. Your business, when people cross the threshold or they turn you on or they click on your website or they meet you at a football game or they meet you out in your community or you speak or whatever it is, what is the world that you've just created? The feeling. What feelings are you stirring up? What possibilities are you stirring up for them? And I want you to think hard about this, okay? Because this is so important to your branding, and this is so important to understand that a lot of people will buy from you because of the world that you've created, and they will continue to buy from you and recommend you because of the world you created for them. This is what's happened to me on the Peloton. I go to the same instructor. I don't even look up another instructor. I don't even want to know because I'm so happy with my 2 instructors. I don't need anybody else. I want that world every time. Okay? I hope you feel that way about this podcast too, that every time you listen here, you realize what is possible for you, that you get excited about your business and you feel blessed with the gifts that you've been given, that you get to make money using them and you get to make a difference in people's lives. Okay? So today, that's your homework. What's the world you're creating for your people? Intentionally create it so that they keep coming back and they can't help but recommend you to others. Okay, that's it. Y'all have a great day. And by the way, if you are in the early stages of your business, like you're trying to nail down your idea, you're maybe taking the steps and you're not quite open yet, but you want to make sure you're doing everything right and as quickly and efficiently as possible. And you want it all laid out for you, all the steps, everything you need to be doing to start your product or service business, then make sure you check out my Just Getting Started group below. You can jump in there, y'all. It's $7 a month. Are you hearing me? You get everything laid out for you. I used to sell this course for $97. That's part of this program. I've coached people personally on all of this, and you're getting it for $7 a month because it's my new program that I'm super stoked about that almost any new business owner can afford. So make sure you check that out right now. The Just Getting Started group is below. Okay. And then when you're ready, after you get your business open and selling, you can jump into Grow Getters with all of us because we want to help you get to consistent income and learn how to market yourself. Okay? Because that's what you got to do to grow this business. So that is it. Y'all have a great day, and I will talk to you next week with part 2 about the world you're creating. Okay? Bye now.
Now, this episode may be over, but our relationship does not have to end here. Head on over to KimberlyBrock.com, and yes, you can get more valuable information for your journey. And you know what? You don't need to go through this alone. I would love to help you. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.